How's it going, everybody? Welcome to week 6 of the 2023 NFL season. We're just going to recap our predictions from last week because it was kind of interesting. I finished with a 9-5 record. Gunnar finished with an 8-6 record. Obviously, we had 2 less games last week. And Gunnar and I started something different. We picked an upset. I correctly predicted the Falcons over the Texans, and Gunnar unfortunately fell short, picking the Rams over the Eagles. Sorry, Gunnar. But we now have a new season total. Gunnar's still in the lead at 53-25, and I'm right behind at 50-28. So not bad. We got 2 teams on bye this week, Green Bay and Pittsburgh. But we're kicking things off tonight between the Denver Broncos and the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs, 7-point win against the Vikings last week. You know, Travis Kelce was injured, but they still put the Vikings away.
Well, he came back and scored a touchdown.
True, he's still injured. He's cleared to play tonight. The Broncos lost, humiliatingly so, against the Jets. I'm personally picking Kansas City for this game because Denver looks like a dumpster fire. Gunnar, who do you have?
I'm obviously taking the Chiefs. The Broncos are tanking. They're getting rid of another good pass rusher.
Yeah, they're losing Clark. So, yeah, not great for Denver. I didn't think they'd collapse this bad again, but here we are. All right, next up, we have a game between the Baltimore Ravens and the Tennessee Titans. The Ravens, I don't know how they lost against the Steelers last week. They had so many drop passes, just bad calls. Yeah, it was embarrassing watching them lose. The Tennessee Titans, who did they play? They played against the Colts.
The Colts, yeah.
And they lost.
D-Hop had a good game for once, finally.
I know, he finally did something. They gave him all the money. He finally did something.
Former Buffalo Bills running back Zach Moss was owning.
Oh, yeah, Zach Moss. They gave Jonathan Taylor all that money, but Zach Moss was running on them.
He did more in one game with them than he did with his whole career with the Bills.
Seeing their run defense yesterday, or not yesterday, last week, I'm picking Baltimore. Gunnar, who do you have?
I have Baltimore. The Titans are dumpster fire right now.
Yeah, they're pretty bad. Speaking of pretty bad, our next game is between the Washington Commanders and the Atlanta Falcons. The Commanders handing the Bears their first win in 347 days. The Falcons eking out a win against the Houston Texans. Desmond Ridder actually played well. Bijan continues to prove himself as one of the best rookies in this draft class. This game is pretty bad, though. I don't consider the Falcons a good team. Me personally, if I had to pick a team, you know what? I'm going to pick Washington, to be honest with you. Let me go with Washington. Gunnar, who do you have?
I'm going to take the Atlanta Falcons. They look good, and I don't know about the Commanders. They just got embarrassed by the Bears. I know this could be my upset of the week, but I'm going to pass on it.
All right, very good. All right, next up, we have an NFC North matchup.
Worst game of the week right here.
Oh, my God.
Record-wise.
The Justin Jefferson list, Minnesota Vikings versus the Chicago Bears. Both of these teams only have 1 win on the season. If you had to look face value, Minnesota is a better team. The Bears have actually been trending upwards, which is not even saying much. But Minnesota is missing wide receiver Justin Jefferson for 4 weeks. I mean, this game, it's still bad. I'm still going to pick the Vikings because I think they're a better team, but don't be surprised if the Bears actually win. Gunnar.
Here's my upset this week. Bears over Vikings.
Gunnar's upset.
They look good against the Chiefs. Jordan Addison looks good, but Justin Jefferson's a huge key. Hawkinson, he didn't play that well last week, so give me the Bears in this one.
Man, that's 2 differences in a row. All right. Next up, we have a matchup. This might actually be a good game between the Seattle Seahawks and the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals, hey, they won, and they played very well last week. You know, Joe Burrow actually looked good. Jamar Chase was owning last week. Seattle, they're still continuing to play well. After it's all said and done, since I guess this is technically an upset, I'm picking the Bengals this week over the Seattle Seahawks.
Seattle looks good. I think they're going to stay good. Coming off a bye week, they'll be fresh and refreshed. Give me Seattle on this one.
Nice. All right. There's 3 differences in a row.
Because we used our upsets.
Yep. All right, next up, we have the San Francisco 49ers against the Cleveland Browns.
Nothing much to talk about this one. Give me the Niners.
Yeah, we can skip it. I mean, the Niners absolutely obliterated the
Deshaun
Cowboys.
Watson might even be out. Nick Chubb's on IR. Just not even close.
Here's the thing. Dallas is a good team, minus losing to the Cardinals. But, I mean, San Francisco took care of them easy. Yeah, that's an easy 49ers pick. All right, next up, we have the New Orleans Saints taking on the Houston Texans. The Texans just barely losing to the Falcons last week, came up short. You know who's not coming up short? CJ Stroud, still having himself a great season. New Orleans absolutely put the Patriots 6 feet under in the ground. They absolutely obliterated them, handing them their worst loss at home since forever. Overall, I mean, both of these teams I don't think are relatively good, but they've showed some flashes of promise. If I'm going to pick a team, I think I'm going to pick the Saints, to be honest with you, because I think their secondary has been playing pretty well this year. I think CJ Stroud's going to throw his first interception. So give me the New Orleans Saints. Gunnar, who do you have?
I think it's going to be a close battle, but you can't choke against the Falcons. Score barely any points. Give me the Saints. They own the Patriots and Bill Belichick.
All right, next up, we have a nice AFC South game with huge implications between the Indianapolis Colts and the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jaguars putting an end to the Bills' little hope run after beating the Dolphins. You know, they handled them pretty well. There was a ton of ref interference in that game, I'm not even going to lie. But Jacksonville is a better team. Indianapolis beat Tennessee. I know Anthony Richardson's hurt, but Gardner Minshew is a great backup quarterback. I'm going to take Jacksonville in this one because I think they're a better team. But this game is like huge for the division because if anyone's going to win this division, it's going to be Indy or it's going to be Jacksonville. Gunnar, who do you have?
Minshew's going to take his first loss. Give me Jacksonville. I hope Indy wins, but give me Jacksonville.
Me too. I like to see the Colts do well. All right, next up, I mean, we don't need to talk about this game. Yeah. Carolina Panthers, Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins destroyed the Giants last week like everyone knew they were going to. Even though Tua threw 2 interceptions, the Panthers are still a dumpster fire. It's really bad. Bryce Young does not look to be the guy at Miami. Gunnar, I'm writing down Miami for you. Yeah, that's pretty easy. All right, next up, this is a Josh McDaniels revenge game between the New England Patriots and the Las Vegas Raiders. Both of these teams do not look good. I know the Raiders won last week, but it's against the Packers, who have not looked good this season. The New England Patriots, I mean, the past 2 games, they've gotten obliterated. Let's see. They got shut out this week, and last week they scored 3 points. So in 2 weeks, they've scored 3 points. That's terrible. Give me the Raiders. Actually, you know what? I'm going to switch this up last second. I think Belichick's going to try and stick one to McDaniels. Give me the Patriots.
I think he's going to try to, but keeping Mac Jones in, so give me the Raiders. They look awful, but Patriots look even worse. Mac Jones scored -9 fantasy points over the last 2 weeks. That is god-awful.
It's been garbage. All right. I know they're definitely missing Judon and Gonzalez right now.
Yes.
All right. Next up, we have a great game between the 4-1 Detroit Lions and the, 3-1? Tampa Bay Buccaneers, because they were on bye last week.
Yeah, they were on bye.
Both of these teams are making everyone shut up about them. I thought the Buccaneers were going to be the worst team in the league this year. Look at them now. The Lions are playing super well. It's so hard to pick someone to win this game. Gunnar, who do you have?
The Lions look pretty good. Sam Laporta went on the injury report. Jameer Gibbs on the injury report, but they still got Montgomery. Amon-Ra, I think, is going to come back this week. J-Mo came back. Give me the Lions over the Bucs.
I think I'll take the Bucs just because the Lions are facing so many injuries right now. It's such a good game. Oh, I have these backwards. That's fine. I'll just write over that. All right, next up, we have the Arizona Cardinals and the LA Rams. The Cardinals lost. I mean, that's no surprise. But they're still keeping up with teams, though. I'm shocked. I know they got blown out by the Bengals. The Rams, they've been keeping up with teams, too. I know they haven't had relatively, large success. But this is a big this is a big game for both teams, especially division-wise, if they want to hang in with a kind of decrepit NFC. So give me the Rams on this one. Gunnar, who do you have?
I also taking the Rams.
Pretty smart. All right, next up, we have the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the New York Jets. This would have been such a good game before Aaron Rodgers got injured, but now it's just kind of The The Jets squeaked out a win against the Denver Broncos. The defense coming in clutch like we thought they would. Zach Wilson continues to be kind of terrible. The Eagles, they beat the Rams, not by a lot, but they're the same old Eagles. They're still 5-0. Give me the Eagles in this one.
I also have the Eagles.
All right. Now we are in Sunday Night Football between the New York Giants and the Buffalo Mother-Lovin' Bills. The Bills lost last week against the Jaguars. It just came out flat. They had a ton of injuries, losing Matt Milano and Daquan Jones for this season. Von Miller is set to come back, thankfully, and hopefully Greg Rousseau comes back. You know who has even more injuries, though? The Giants. They have so many. Like, most of their offensive line is injured. Daniel Jones is injured.
Wandale Robinson, Saquon Barkley.
They are missing so many people due to injuries. And the Giants, I mean, they're just going to have to coast through the rest of the year because nobody has any faith in them.
Get Caleb Williams.
Nor should they. Daniel Jones is so bad, but their offensive line is even worse. Buffalo's going to get like 10 sacks in this game. Give me the Bills. I know Gunner's picking the Bills, of course. All right, and then to finish things off on Monday Night Football, we have a great game between the Dallas Cowboys and the Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers were on bye this week, but they've had a decent season coming off with a rough start, but Justin Herbert's still been playing at a great level. The Cowboys lost, and they lost bad against their NFC rival, the 49ers. The Cowboys defense still looks good, and the Chargers offense is really good. Whereas the Chargers defense isn't good and the Cowboys offense isn't very good. At the end of the day, though, it's all about which team comes out on top. And Gunnar, who do you have in this game?
Cowboys bounce back. Chargers almost choked to the Raiders up by 3 touchdowns. So give me the Cowboys.
Gunnar is the Cowboys. I will also pick the Cowboys. I just think their defense will be good. I think they have the edge in that regards. But Justin Herbert's going to be the better quarterback. I know that for a fact. And with that being said, that does it for our Week 6 predictions. We had a ton of differences. 5, that's a new record this season. Gunnar's upset pick was the Bears over the Vikings, and then I picked the Bengals over the Seahawks. So it'll be interesting to see. This will shake things up now that we have 5 different games. Let us know what your predictions are in the comments, who your upset pick is, and we'll see you next week.